welcome to episode 11 of Kingdom of Kodiak. I am Kodiak. With me today is Baroness Paige, Amatiel, Cassandra, Saint of Pride. Did I get all that right?
Close enough. I'll let it slide.
Oh, man, got to keep practicing, apparently. How you doing today?
I am good. You got me out of a Wednesday shift after everyone gets unemployment pay at Starbucks, so I'm doing great.
Kingdom of Kodiak helping people across the country. Look at that.
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. So let's not hesitate. Let's get you right into the bare necessities, all right?
Awesome.
So, sorry, Sin, but we're doing them anyways. All right. So how long have you been playing Amtgard?
So I've been playing Amtgard since I was 12. I actually started playing the same time Shion did, Sir Shion. Yeah, we started together. I went to school with that weirdo. He's a good guy. And now I'm 29, so what is it? I don't know how to math right now.
17 years?
Yeah, 17 years.
Ooh, wow. Okay. That's one of the longest amount of times that we've had on Kingdom of Kodiak thus far.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not as long as Alucard. He's been playing longer than I've been alive.
Well, sure, but
that's my inside joke.
Right? All right. So, Amatiel, Cassandra, Saint of Pride. Where's the name come from?
So Amatiel is kind of a twist on the angel Anatiel from the Bible. And there's no reason for it. I just like the name. And then Cassandra, because I introduced myself as Cass to so many people that by the time people realized I actually had a persona name, it was too late. So I just kind of tacked it on.
Okay.
But I was originally, when I first started, whenever I was 12, I was Toad way back in DS. And I was a very vastly different person then.
What is Saint of Pride more to do with the household, or is that
Saint of Pride is a moniker of the COA. It is okay. It is the pride is my aspiration within the COA, and each member and every person who is wanting to become a member has their own aspiration. So everyone's is unique in their own way.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about that as we go on. But inside of the game, you're receiving awards. What would you say is the award that you're most proud of receiving?
When I started playing, I was an assassin. I love assassin. I've always loved assassin. I had every mask back in V7 whenever you had to wear masks. And when the Order of the White Light was founded, and it was jokingly founded to deter me from doing too many assassin-y things, I was awarded my, I believe it's under Masterhood, but it was in that gray area of V8 switchover. So I'm not sure if I'm a Master or a Paragon. I choose Master Assassin because it sounds better to me. But if I'm qualified as a Paragon, I will say Paragon.
Sure.
But definitely my assassin rank as a Master / Paragon is my pride and joy.
That's awesome. Cool. So as an assassin, or just as a player inside of Amtgard, what would you say is your favorite type of battle game, or battle game specifically?
So I after a certain point of playing in PV, you get a reputation as deadly, and I have that, and many people do. But what happens is that people start running away from you, even in any type of objective-based battle game. So members of the COA, along with myself, invented a kind of mini game inside all battle games, and we call it Elves and Dwarves. And that's basically just whoever can kill the most people wins. Kind of a little joke off of Legolas and Gimli from Lord of the Rings.
Sure. Yeah.
And so that's my favorite one, is if I can rack up 97 kills compared to Alucard, who has his bow, it's a pretty high mark for me. But it's always fun.
Awesome. Good reference too. Uh, so with the Paragon or Masterhood Assassin, would you say that's your favorite class, or is there one that does supersede it nowadays?
No, Assassin has always been my favorite class. Even now, I I would say that it's become a little bit more of a self-protective type class. It has a lot of get out of danger quick
Sure.
abilities.
Mhm.
But even still, if you know how to use them correctly, you can still be very dangerous on the field. And the coup de grace ability at 6 is nice, even if as a more veteran player, it's kind of like I can do that without the ability, getting around the entire field. But having it is a nice little trick.
Okay, awesome. So still assassin. Uh, Probably will continue to be assassin with 8.5 or 9 or whichever.
Yeah, unless they completely, butcher it. That's
Well,
that way.
let's be honest. If you ask anyone in Dragon's Spine, they're just going to butcher Druid just to spite me. But you know,
Well, then my class is safe, and I'm happy.
yeah, right. See, you're taken care of. All right. Two general questions that have become thematic for the Kingdom of Kodiak. Morgan asks about the toaster that Sir Glenolf is supposed to receive. What say you about such things?
Well, I think he deserves much more than a toaster. I would say, at bare minimum, he deserves probably restaurant quality toaster oven.
Really? All right. So now, Kingdom of Kodiak viewers, we're no longer just looking at just a toaster. If you're not going to go in and get restaurant quality toaster ovens, you're not on the level that you should be at. Get your game up, is what we're saying. I love it. Fantastic. And then Lady Stillhat from Cloud's Edge asks your thoughts on bears.
Bears have a great personality. They have a sordid history with Norsemen, but not always my cup of tea.
Well,
I, you know,
I don't know how I feel
every
about
once in
that.
a while they'll be there and have
Sure.
some fun.
Fantastic. All right. So we're into the household questions now. I'm really excited about this one because Church of the Apocalypse is one of those houses that, as a relatively new person in Amcard, I'm not that familiar with. So I'm excited to hear some of the details. Why don't you start us off by giving us a little bit of the origins or the mythos behind the beginnings of the Church of the Apocalypse?
So I don't know the Amtgard inner workings, who founded it, but the mythos says that before all things, our goddess Nadina was around. She's darkness, and darkness always comes first. And at some point, some minor deity of light came about and created man and all the elements. And seeing that all things would eventually get drawn into the darkness, started telling everyone that Nadina is terrible. And when she saw that happening, she turned everything against him. She turned the elements against him and brought back the dead from his plane and their heavenly status, becoming members of her court. And it was at that point that she lit the flame of the Soul Forge, which is where all of her followers are sent. They experience a truth, and it may not be a nice truth, it may not be a happy truth, but it is their truth. And when they return, they are stronger and are able to serve her even better. We also know that this god of light favors unicorns, and for that reason we work to eradicate these horrible monsters, which, you know, I know a lot of people are going to say unicorns aren't bad, but what do they have the horn for? That's my question to you. You know, they just attack people.
Did you guys assassinated the unicorn at GOTC 2 years ago, didn't you?
Oh, we've assassinated many, many unicorns.
Okay. Well, Kingdom of Kodiak, one of the more traumatic experiences I ever had at GOTC was watching an inflatable unicorn get stabbed by a stick. And
Oh, you missed the year before that, where one of our members, myself and another saint, at the time we were acolytes, brought a, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Despicable Me, but we diligently worked to capture a variation of that unicorn from Dave and Buster's, and one of our members grabbed the horn and in one swift movement twisted it completely off. It was really impressive.
Yes. Okay. You just created all of the trauma I've ever had in Gathering of the Clans. I was protecting it 2 years ago, and I believe it was Balder who just picked a stick up and he promised he was under orders. I remember. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
More than likely, let's see, if it was Balder, it would mean that either myself, the Saint of Pride, Alucard, the Saint of Rage, or potentially Baron Fu ordered him to kill that unicorn.
Okay.
If he got orders from local levels. But then again, he might have gotten directions from our pontiff, who actually has a unicorn wand.
I kind of want to build like off of this lore a little bit in the reverse and just be the counter. I have no idea.
There is a household that does work to save unicorns. They're not good at it considering how many we kill, but you know, they can
Shots
try.
Fired. All right. Well, Unicorn Protection Guild, wherever you are, you need to get in this chat. Leave a message. I actually have
one locked up in my hearse as we speak. It's a baby.
Okay. All right, we're moving on. Does the Church of Apocalypse have an oath or an entry level like speech they have to give or anything like that?
No. So outside of the role play aspect of it, we are a service household, and you know the goal is to be the ones that help. When you look at our members, just locally in PV, they are usually the ones who step up first. I mean, Alucard, Balder, both well known in their own right for their service. And then for myself, every year for approximately the last 5-6 years, I've helped out with the local Highland Games where we have had record amounts of money raised for the park.
Awesome. That's cool.
And we're always there to help. And that's kind of what we want you to do outside of being protector of people and killing unicorns and things like that. But RP-wise, you find an aspiration to kind of embody. And some people, like myself, take it, we go with what we know, and I am very prideful. There are people who refer to my weapons as Amatiel. I am always proud of everything that I make, and while some might argue against this, I do actively encourage everyone to be proud of what they do, because while pride can lead to hubris, pride is good. You should always have pride in yourself.
Right. It's always a balance of pride.
Yeah. And then you have others like Alucard, who he had originally picked Wrath, and Rage kind of goes along with that, but he wants to improve upon his temperament both on and off the field. And so he chose that to kind of like be something that he can focus on. But it all depends on the person. My wife, who's sitting off screen over here, she's the saint of tomfoolery. And so she likes to play pranks and, has a very sinister chuckle that if you hear it, you're kind of in danger. And Balder, who is our newest saint, is the saint of cajolery. Let everyone know that the dark side has cookies, but don't let anyone else know what is on the good side type of deal. And I think he's pretty good at that. He's wise for such a young saint.
So, in our conversation so far, you kind of answered the why service household, also really good mythos with the RP side of it, and you answered the what about the how and the when of when the group formed?
So I know that there have been 2 formations of the COA. I don't know the original one or like exact dates, but I do know at one point the household kind of disbanded, and when it reformed, a lot of the previous saints did not return, and which is actually why I was able to attain my sainthood and pride. The original Saint of Pride chose not to return to either the game or to the household. I'm not sure which one.
Okay.
But there, it formed basically as a surface hustle to help out and be the bad guys whenever bad guys are hard to find. And so, like, if you need monsters, come to the COA. If you need a group of evil bandits, hey, we have evil bandits, and if you need an evil wizard, we have evil wizards. Like, we're there to be the bad guys because we know that every story needs a bad guy.
I love that. That's awesome. That's super cool. All right. So what about heraldry?
The COA is broken up into 2 factions: the Northern Cross and the Southern Cross. The Northern Cross has a cross with a circle and some intricate designs on it. Their faction colors are purple, black with gold accents, and the Southern Cross, which is what you'll see, the one that I'm a part of, Alucard, the Saint of Tomfoolery and the like. We have a cross with the circle. It's a little bit more reserved as far as symbols go, and then our colors are purple, black, and then accents of silver. Okay. And then each saint is actually allowed to wear the Southern Cross surcoat, which has its own specific design unto itself. I believe it's a horseman's tunic surcoat with 3, I don't know all the terms, but they're on the bottom of your tunic. Gassettes, I think is the word. And on the sides, it's the symbol itself, and then on the back, gassette, I believe some people put their symbol. But the important part is the collar around the design around the collar. It's a purple, kind of like spiderweb design with 2 silver lines going around the entire thing.
Wow, cool. Yeah. That's if you ever get a chance to put that up in like the chat or anything, someone that's
on the COA wiki there is a picture of our current pontiff. He's wearing his, and it has like multiple angles of it.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to go check that out. Thank you so much for that. What does the symbol itself mean?
It's the symbol of the Church of the Apocalypse. It is the equivalent to the Catholic Church cross. Ours is the Church of the Apocalypse cross. And then the heraldry that I sent you, it's somewhere around here. The one that I use as when I'm playing healer, that is kind of an homage to an older heraldic idea that a couple members had, where it was Nadina in the center, her watching everything and drawing everything inward, the 4 elements inward. And so that's kind of like my godly reliquary. Trying to get a little bit more into the roleplay aspect with it. I actually don't know why I don't have my belt favor handy dandy, but it's quarantine time and we have puppies, so it's probably just for safekeeping away from puppies.
Sure. No, that's fair. But again, super awesome. And we kind of talked about the company colors or the household colors: black, purple, gold up north, silver down south. Uh, very interesting. Is there any reason why the north and south have a gold silver differential, or?
I have no clue, and I've never asked. I've always liked my silver, and I would never want to change that, even if I moved up north. I would probably still always be Southern Cross.
Okay. So still wanted to know, do you have what do you expect of people who wish to join your household?
Well, one, I expect them to do a lot with service. Currently, we have 2 people who are wanting to join our household. That would be, I want to say, Baroness Squire Sylvie. I hope I got that title right, but she's awesome. She was the autocrat for Clan the last 2 years, I believe. And so she's phenomenal. She's doing a lot of good work. And then there is Man-at-Arms Demix. And they both and he is getting into a bit more of the service, but he's always, one of the people who we go to if the COA has been asked to help, or like Demix want to help, and he's always up for it. So my expectations is that when people ask for help and they ask you, you say yes, and you do your best to help them. Then I expect you to represent your aspiration as best you can. With Sylvie, her aspiration is indomitability, and if you've ever met her, she is phenomenal at representing that. Mm-hmm. And Demix is oblivion, and he's hard to forget. So maybe he's wanting to not be forgotten, and so it's like an anti thing, He doesn't want to fall to oblivion. So I think he's doing pretty good with however he's doing it. But yeah, just be up to help is a big thing, whenever moments of stepping up into office or helping with events, when they come up, come look for us, and hopefully we can help you out.
Fantastic. So that's getting people into the household. Let's talk about the members that are in the household, your political structure inside of it, stuff like that.
Alrighty. So it has a very similar, what I assume is a similar structure to a, well, if they're going to do that, give me one of them. Sorry, our dogs are fighting. So we have our pontiff, or the pope, which is Sir Thadagrin. Hi, baby. And then locally we have our archbishop, which is Sir Alucard. And he's essentially anyone in DS, in the kingdom. He's the one who you're going to talk to about like kingdom-wide COA goals. Then we have our local bishop, who is Baron Squire Fu, and he, PV locally, what we're going to do, how we're going to work. And then you have the saints, and the saints are your standard members, and they're the foot soldiers, We also have full members who are not saints. Saints are more considered to be fighters, and the ones who do not fight, who are either incapable or choose not to, they're typically referred to as muses. Okay. So you have some people who have an aspiration, and they are the muse of whatever their aspiration may be. And below that, you have the acolytes. And you have your acolytes and disciples. Your disciples, we've had a lot of discussion about this. Your disciple is anyone who is wanting to be a part of the household, but is either under 18 or is just not capable to dedicate time to becoming a member of the household at that point. But we still want to keep an eye on them.
Mm-hmm.
And then your acolyte are people who are actively becoming members and are over 18. Okay. And we have unique little markers for both of them. A disciple wears a shrunk version of our cross, where basically all 4 points are the same, are equidistant from the center. And then your acolytes are allowed to wear the full household symbol on a belt favor, and can wear a tabard or a tunic that is black and purple with silver accents, just not the surco of a saint. And so that way you can easily distinguish who it is on a battlefield or just in general. But yeah, that's the it's a basic, church structure.
Wow. Very in depth. What numbers are we running at currently in the COA?
Let's see. In PV, both active and non-active, there are There are 7 saints, including archbishops and bishops. There are 2 acolytes. And then as far as full numbers in the Southern Cross, I want to say 50 of both acolytes and saints throughout the whole southern area of Amgard. Wow. And and there are a lot of people who are a part of service households that are also members of the COA, and it kind of goes hand in hand, that idea of we're going to help out as a household also reflects as and I'm a member of that company that wants to help out as well. So it all kind of flows easily together for those people.
Sure. So given that we're talking about service inside of the household, and we've talked about the RP of your sainthoods and your muses and such having given themselves a goal already, what would you say is an additional goal that you yourself have inside of your house?
I've attained it. I got my Saint of Pride. I'm the Saint of Pride, and I feel like I'm getting more and more well known, and the more I get known, the more pride I have in that, and I'm living up to that aspiration with each and every second of people knowing who I am. But I would like to make it my big goal outside of that would be for any household, is for our household to be known for the work we do. We've gotten as a household, we've gotten orders of the Flame before. A few of us have orders of Lions and things like that. The thing that we really struggle against is players who cannot differentiate RP to off the field. Right. And that's a struggle that we're going to have. We play bad guys, people are going to think we're always bad guys. And especially kind of with the fact that we do a lot of service, even though it's expected of us, we always like to be asked. So sometimes we get frustrated about that. But yeah, the big issue has always been, will people recognize that we are service, but at the same time we can also be those bad guys.
Right. Which we're going to talk, I think, at the end here, we're going to talk about some of the misconceptions of the house. So let's focus. We'll remember that, put a pen in it, what have you. So Kenjin asked about planned activities for the house. What is there? What is the house doing?
So the last planned activity we had was a park barbecue, where we raised funds for the park itself, and we all luckily, the majority of the Saints are kind of in a good place financially, individually, where we could just drop money for the park and not need to be reimbursed or anything like that. And hold on, one of my Saint Bernard is trying to dislocate my other dog's ears. They're puppies. They're adorable and cute, but they want to play so bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not playing with them, so they have to do something. But yeah, so we're all capable of doing that. We had a plan to help out with the Highland Games this year. Of course, then all of the excitement happened in the world. I do believe when everything gets back to normal, if time permits, there is the new Edgewood Celtic Festival that we went to last year, and it was very last minute. So this year, definitely with the free time, we're ready to go right into another event as a park. So definitely the COA will be able to help with that aspect of it. A lot of our players, as I've said, have a lot of experience in service and also teaching new people. One point of pride that I have is I remember whenever Kira came to our booth at the Highland Games and I handed her first loner sword, and I remember that it's super cool to see her, how great she is now.
Right.
And to have been that one who was here you go, here's your foam stick, and now she's almost unstoppable,
Right.
So it's one of those things that you're kind of excited about. So the next one probably, hopefully, is going to be the Edgewood Highland Games, but on the immediate horizon, nothing that I want to spoil, because I have something coming up that will be pretty cool for PV, but I don't want to spoil it.
Okay. And for anyone who listened to last week, where MacGyver gave us a little bit of the origin story of her entering the game with Kira, this continues the origin story, and it seems like Kingdom of Kodiak is going to need to have Kira on here at some point to get the whole thing put together. That's awesome. I wish that when I have played for 17 years, I can say that I had some kind of influence like that on someone. That's amazing. And also super cool that you do barbecues and stuff.
It's a lot of fun. And it gives Andre to do besides, shoot people with his crossbow. He's our grill master. So
I'm gonna have to start coming up more often then. So how do you as members maintain a positive outlook inside of the house?
We're all very supportive of each other. As a matter of fact, so I'm trans, and Andre and his wife Leela, Sir Alucard and Dame Leela, are a big push for why I've been able to transition and maintain a healthy mindset. Not including my wife, who's now giving me a dirty look, but she's great, and she supported me. She always supports me. But as friends, we all support each other. We all back each other up. And when it comes to it, I would like to think that if we ever had a falling out, we could talk it out, and go back to that, positive relationship.
Right.
But we all hang out a bit. Just during the quarantine, I've had many D&D sessions with Sir Alucard, and it's kept us all sane.
That's awesome. I'm glad someone's got to play D&D. Sir Randall.
You invited me, so I will invite you. Next time I'll get a hold of you and you can be a part of one of our one-shots.
Oh, look at that. Anyways, okay. You've got me a range of emotions during this interview today. I fear you at the beginning because you're killing unicorns. You got me excited for D&D. Very hopeful for all the service. I don't know what to do with you just yet. So
Okay,
here we go.
that's good.
All right. So COA has done a multitudes of different varieties of service. A different side of service is leadership. What about taking on park leadership and kingdom leadership?
So well, you know, well, we have Balder as a Saint of Cajoler. He was Queen just recently.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Alucard is an Archduke, and he has been Duke, King, Regent a multitude of times. I myself have been a Duchess and a Regent for PV. We usually hold at least one Guildmaster position. I am, as it's been told to me, I am currently tied for longest run of Guildmaster of Assassins with the most. I mean, my personal assassin hero for Amtgard, Naga, the Master Assassin. So that's another one of those cool things to have been a part of. And some of our other saints have been regents and dukes. I one of the big things was when our park was very, very low in numbers, one of our, I believe at the time he was an acolyte, but he might have been a saint too. My memory's a little fuzzy on how long ago it was, but he took our numbers from 15, 20 people to close to 50 people every week during his reign. So we're definitely like, you know, we're there. If I know on multiple times when we didn't necessarily want to be in office, but we saw that no one else was going to step up, we have stepped into that position and helped out. So
it's that crossover to service, man. Like if you're gonna do service, there's a really good chance you're gonna end up being in leadership.
Yeah, and I think it should go hand in hand. I mean, a leader who is able to do the service jobs is just a better leader. You know, you don't want someone who can only boss people around. You want someone who knows how to run events and how to run barbecues and things like that and get people excited. One of our Bishop Fu, Baron Fu, one of his big things that he taught me is that he wants to make it so Amtgard is the thing you do on a Saturday or Sunday. You know, like when you think about what am I going to do Saturday, it's not going to be, oh, I have a lot of things I could do. It's I'm doing Amtgard, you know?
Yeah.
And so if you're in leadership, if you're in service, that should be your goal as well. And so that's a goal for a lot of us in the COA.
I love it. That's exactly what I'm trying to promote. I like the idea when you think about, man, what's Saturday look like, or like, oh man, I got Wednesday off, and that's, you know, arts and science. Oh, I guess I know what I'm doing today. You know, I'm going arts and science, even if it's, you know, an hour and a half to 2 hours of bardics where you're just telling stories and getting to know history and stuff like that. At least it's still Amtgard.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, so Gideon Farrellhart had asked, what does your group? We talked about this. The political structure, very church-like.
Yes.
And you even have a lateral with the muse and the
saint.
And the saint, right? So there's a lateral position there for people who can't participate in the combat side of the game, which is very inclusive, very awesome. Got to appreciate that. One of the questions that I had that I like to ask the houses and companies that come on here is highlights from your house. Just a couple that you can think of that like stand out to you as a member.
Well, the big one is every time we have one of our masses, you know, where we have the COA comes together at times, you know, sometimes it's Spring War, sometimes it's Gathering of the Clans. Every time I've ever been to a COA mass, we always get one group of people who will look at us and say, man, you guys are weird. As we're, sacrificing our stuffed unicorns or our inflatable unicorns. And it's always a highlight to see, like, we can weird out amp guarders, and that's great. And then a personal highlight that is always something great for me is being at events like Highland Games and being able to teach people that, one, amp guard's super fun, and two, a very important lesson that Sir Anatole taught me a long time ago, which is you will lose 1,000,000 times before you start winning. And it's a good thing to learn that at like a fun event where if you're too super cocky, us fighters, us saints are able to quickly stop that.
Sure.
But we have fun, and I think one of the big things is that all of us are very capable of going from we're gonna fight these people who think they know so much more than they do to there's a little kid and he's like 4 and he wants to hold a dagger and we're gonna go and he's gonna barely tap us and we're gonna dramatically silent movie act a death out for them because that's a fun thing to do with them. Absolutely. So those moments are something that I will always have a soft spot for.
That's great. Yeah, I my son came to our Ren Fair this last year and got to fight with me in the fighter's pit that we had, and like being able to act it out with him about the fight. Like he fights with us at the park or fights with me at the park or whoever is available, but yeah, just growing that next generation with some role play and excitement like that. That's amazing. It's good stuff. What issues does the group have with the distance between members?
Well, there's really not. So we have 2 separate chats, one for the entirety of the COA. So anyone who is an acolyte, a disciple, a saint, all of us have that unique chat. And then there's also the saints chat, which when you become a saint, you're added to that chat. And I think the only downside to that is that it goes silent for 2-3 months, and then one point at like 11 o'clock at night, 18 million messages pop up, and then you're awake until 2 o'clock.
Right. So the distinction between the North and the South really keeps the distance of players at a minimum at this point.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. So before I ask Sarai's question that she wanted to make sure got asked, I want to point out that she also mentioned that just because you role play bad guys doesn't mean you're bad people, and that's a very good point to be made. Mm-hmm. That being said, Sarai's question: common misconceptions of your household.
So a lot of the common misconceptions is that we are, at least in my personal experience, are looking to destroy what's been made. There are a lot of people that see us playing bad guys and they instantly think, oh, we want to break a game, or we want to destroy a park, we want to rip things apart. And that's not true. We are a service household. When I talk about our impact, within the years since the COA has been the primary group behind the Rio Grande Celtic Festival, the Highland Games, more money. Sorry, my dog just sat on my other dog's head. That was great. We have made it more profitable than any years prior to that, because we see the need for it. We're innovative in how we raise money and what we do to raise money, because we know that those funds will help get us new players, will help grow the park, will allow the park to do feasts and events that we couldn't have done before. And we see the need for that. So we are very much not, destructive. We're bad guys, It's what we do, to quote Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad. Inside a game, I will actively destroy a group because that's what you do. They're your enemies.
Mhm.
But that also being said, if a COA member sees another COA member on another team, we're both going to the Forge, roleplay speaking. So it's not bad if either one of us dies, but definitely as a show of I can kill someone who's skilled, we definitely do not lower our blade skill at any point to another member if we're on opposite teams. We will fight just as hard against them. And yeah, it's a very common thing to struggle with, playing the bad guy and also trying to get people to understand that we are not terrible all the time. And then also, unfortunately, as I've come to learn through my years of playing, there is some misconceptions with members of the Northern Cross, and as it connected to the Southern Cross, as we're both all one household, but the factions exist. And so there are some people who I've met at Gathering of the Clans and the like, who hear COA and they only know the COA of the Northern Cross, and they're like, oh, you're a terrible person. And I work to go, I'm Southern Cross, and they're part of my household, but I've never met any of them except for one or two, and those guys seemed okay. But let me hear your perspective. Tell me how we can maybe change that view for the Southern Cross. And hopefully at one point, the Northern Cross and the Southern Cross both have good reputations once again. But until then, we just got to work on that.
Right. Absolutely. So I did come up with a question while I was hearing this. People approaching you, not knowing you, the bad guy, the bad person, trying to separate the two. What advice would you give someone who is trying to approach you, maybe just before a battle game or just after a battle game, where maybe you're still RP at that point, but they want to talk to you seriously? Do you ask for a unicorn?
No, I can switch off my role play mindset very quickly.
Okay.
I don't get asked things very often. I have been told on multiple occasions, and I'm sorry for the language, but I have a terminal bitch face, where I just look like I'm gonna just be mean to you. And for those people who have kind of stepped past that wall of RBF or TBF in my case.
Yeah, it sounds like a T there. Yeah.
Yeah, a TBF. They find out that, you know what, if you ask, I probably am going to help you unless you are absurdly rude, and then you'll get like a little bit of a sarcastic response. But at the same time, if it's a legitimate question, I will probably answer it or direct you to someone who has a little bit more of a filter. And so for that reason, I do work, we'll still send them to someone.
I mean, we are talking to the Saint of Pride. So,
yeah.
You challenge the pride up front. Be like, I assume you know the answer to this.
Yeah, and if you do that, I will typically be all like, oh, yeah, and my mom is an English teacher, so I'm real good at BSing if I need to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Baroness, Amatiel, Cassandra, Saint of Pride.
That's the important one right there.
I was just going to call you the Saint of Pride, and I'm like, you know what? I screwed up the name at the beginning. I'm going to give it another shot.
And you got it. I'm very proud of you.
I did it. Well, thank you. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much. Is there anything additional that you'd like to say to the populace, the viewers, etc.?
I wish everyone good luck. It's been hard on me, and I'm an essential worker. I can't imagine what it's like to be stuck at home. So if you're stuck at home, if you are an essential worker, good luck. Stay healthy. Wash your hands. Wear your masks. We can all make masks, so make a mask for yourself. And hopefully one day we'll see you back out at the park, and we'll
Absolutely.
be good to go again.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for your service since you are essential. I do want to get that out there that through these hard times, being able to go in and work for through a quarantine and talking to you through the week, getting ready for this 14-hour days. Thank you so much for after all of the work you've been doing, finding time for a simple thing like this. It's a really great. It was an honor to talk to you about this
Thank
stuff.
you so
I
much.
feel enlightened. Super cool. I'm gonna have to plan a barbecue the next time I come to PV because
Hey,
King's
we'll be up to help out.
King's got to travel. Fantastic. For the members of the Kingdom of Kodiak and viewers, for next week, we will be having a nightly chat along with a company discussion with Sir Anatole, who will be talking to us about the wheel. So fantastic there. As your king, I will be putting out a video either tomorrow or Friday, just as a quick, like, hey, see what's going on for people who don't watch KOK, just to give you some insight. But again, Amatiel, thank you so much for coming on. Stay in touch, and until next week.
Yeah. See ya.
Goodbye.